How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and today we have the next episode of my previously in DBS News Series that I do every Sunday, going over the week's news in one tasty, easy to digest video. And we're on episode 63 now, and this one is going to bring us more spoilers from the set 20 reveals that Bandai have been doing. We're going over a lot of blue. We've almost sold out fully through blue this week, seeing the majority of it, which is nice because we're going to see Bandai's picking up pace, because before we were getting one or two spoilers a day, and it was just taking forever. Like, it took the whole of January to get through two colors, one color having just one deck in it, which was ridiculous. And now going into February, we're soaring through and we get a lot more spoilers a day now. Like, we go between 3 or 4, which is quite nice. And we also have a little bit more information about Worlds, like the prizing, participation, stuff like that. So what people will be getting at the last chance qualifiers, and for people who eventually do get into Worlds, the 7 and the new one that's going to be in from the last chance qualifier, we'll get to see what they get for participation and for prizing and stuff. And we're just going to go over that. But without further ado, before we get into the video, do feel free to like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel out greatly, and it helps me get to my goal of 1,000 subs, which I'm over halfway there. And every little subscription helps, and I'll have the giveaway results put up soon as well, because I've got a bit going on to sort out before I can get that done. But without further ado, let's end the video and check out what was revealed this week. So starting with the first blue deck, that is Android 18. So Android 18 getting another leader, which is very nice because she hasn't had a leader since set 8, which is a good, as you know, 12 sets ago, if you can do the basic maths. And the other deck, it was quite nice. It wasn't really used much outside the mill version, and then when Bandai kind of killed that dead, destroyed it, ripped it apart with the errata to the Freezer 100% overdrive, the deck was basically dead, and any blue deck could do whatever it wanted to try to do better, but there was still a bit of light. And now we get a brand new one, which actually looks pretty nice. So it goes from Android 18 to Android 18 Impenetrable Rushdown, and also has a nice little unison to go with it as well. And even though we got God Sealing's ban now for blue decks, some uses could be quite useful, and especially when you're a blue Android leader, got to remember there's an Android 18 counterplay as well. And the unison is Android 18 Credit and Maron. Family United, so it's kind of like a family deck, which is quite cool. So if you like the Fast and Furious family memes, you're gonna love this deck. So we'll start off with the front side. We've got an auto. When it attacks, draw a card, and you can place up to one blue card from your drop under this card. So as you can see straight off the bat, one of the mechanics of this deck is putting cards under the lead to do certain things. We'll see that as we go on. And then you have the Awaken, which is when your life is 4 or less, or there are 3 or more cards under this card. You draw 1 card, which is when your energy to active mode. Take your life down to 6 if you're higher than 6, and then you flip it over. So you get the mid-range auto, the Awaken of untapping 1, drawing 1. And you don't have to wait for your life to be at 4. You do have the Ultimate Awakening condition, and that's just putting 3 more cards in your lead, which we'll see cards that actually do that themselves. And you see when the leader, when it swings, does it itself. So after 3 swings, at the bare minimum, you're going to awaken. So you're not going to be restricted to having to not awaken if you don't want to. You can do that. And then when you awaken side, you now have 2 autos and activate battle. So first auto is basically the same. When this card attacks, draw 1 card and place it to 1 blue card from your drop under this card. So you keep with that mechanic of putting cards in the lead. And the auto is not once per turn, so if you can restand it or anything like that. Because I think there's some cards that actually do restand your lead. You can get another draw from that. And you also have the auto, the second auto at least, which is now, this one's once per turn, where when you add a card from your life to your hand, you place it to 1 blue card from your drop under this card. So if you do take a life, be it by damage, or taking it yourself, whatever, once per turn, if a card goes from your life to your hand, you get to put a blue card from your drop under the card. So you more ramping of cards in this lead, which would be quite interesting to see what it does. And then you got the activate battle as well, which is once per turn. Add 1 card from your life to your hand. This card gets 5,000 power for the battle. So that's where you get a free 5k boost, which is quite cool. And this once per turn, just your player's turn as well. Just take a life. And since you awaken on your well, at least on your Awaken, when you awaken not higher than 4 life, you can use this to take yourself down. Like if you need go down the 5 from the 6 to the 5 life with to have a token negate life, you can do that. If you need to get down to life total for your super combos, so you need a bit 4 less life, you can use this to do that. Or if you need to go into a certain life total for a Z lead, you know, because yes, spoiler, there is going to be a Z lead for this lead, as we've seen with most of the leads so far. They've had Z leads, which is quite nice, so they'll benefit from this set than the first two sets, where it looks like most of the lead, or almost all the leaders, are going to be having Z leads. Winning everyone, not every leader got a Z lead. Got a Z battle card maybe, but it didn't get something like a new Z lead, which is a great mechanic to have for every leader. So quite a decent leader, quite good, quite generic. We just need to see what possible cards you put in your leader to get actually better for being underneath it. So we're seeing that in a sec. And then we got the Unison. So it's a 2 specified cost, 15k Unison. It's got a permanent where if your leader is a Krillin or Android 18 card, it gains blockers. So you can have a Unison that actually block to defend. And it's got 2 marker skills, a +2, which is kind of like common nowadays with a lot of 2 costs are getting them now. And also, try blue. I think there's a fair few in blue that get 2+ marker skills. And the other one's a -4. So the first one is activate main, draw 1 card and discard a card from your hand. So it kind of allows you to put a card in your drop ready for the leader to put underneath it without having to combo or do anything else, just use this. And additionally, if your leader is a Krillin or Android 18 card, both mono blue, place up to 1 Krillin or Android card, both blue from your drop under your leader, and then the turn switch this card to active mode. So that's quite nice, where you get to put more cards underneath your leader using the Unison as well, and also then restand this snap as a blocker. And as well, I know people did see that. It's what it says, a Krillin lead. There's only 1 Krillin lead in this game, which is surprising considering he's like one the second Z fighters that came into Dragon Ball, and he only has 1 lead, and people thought because of this lead, and we've only got the Stormfist Krillin lead, the other leader might be a Krillin, which would seem quite weird since we know that Ender 21's in the set. People thought it was going to be another Krillin lead in the set, but nope, that's not the case. And it's just referencing that if you use it with the old blue Krillin lead, you can get that benefit as well. And then the -4 is activate main, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignore a barrier, and place it at the bottom of his owner's deck. So barrier removal built onto Unison at -4. It's not difficult to get to, because you pay 2 for it, get 2 more. If you protect it a little bit more, you can have that barrier removal built in. But then we've also got the Beerus C battle card as well for barrier removal. So blue's get a decent bit of barrier removal to help deal with barrier threats, because before it was struggle with it. Now it's going to have a lot easier time. Like blue was getting more tools than it really needed at the moment. Then we go into some of the Z cards. As I said, a Z lead was on the cards for Android 18, and Android 18, like we've seen with most of these sets so far, they've got a quite heavy Z deck focus, and Android 18 doesn't shy away from that, but it's not as not as many needs as say the Boo deck or the Goku deck. So we've got Android 18 as a Z lead at Axel Dance, Krillin Axel Dance, and Android 17 Axel Dance. So Android 18 is a Z lead for Android 18. Needs 3 Z energy and is a 20k base. And Z-Awaken is also 1 blue when your life's at 3 or less on a blue Android 18. So you can work with the old Android 18 if you wanted to as well, which is quite nice. And also, do note that you have to be a 3 or less life, thanks to the leader, be able to take a life from an activate battle, get 5k boost. You can make it have that little bit of defense by going, take yourself down to 3 and go in a Z lead, and then your 25k battle, which is pretty decent. And 20k base on a lead is quite good defensively, just to help defend a little bit nicer, and especially with blue being quite a defensive color, it works very well. And you have the Z stack 2 on the lead, so another card in the set that's got the new mechanic of Z stack, and this one is Z stack 2, blue Krillin and blue Android 17 cards, and she costs a 5. And remember, with Z stack is when putting this card into play or on top of your leader from your Z deck, you place up to the number of cards specified from your Z deck under this card up to the number of the stack. So in this case, it'd be 2 cards under the lead, and they've got to be either a blue Krillin or a blue Android 17. Those cards, and so that's nice. You get to put these underneath it, and we'll see a good reason why in a second on the lead. So you got the auto once per turn. When this card attacks, draw 1 card and place it to 1 blue card from your drop on your lead. So it keeps the same skill that's on both sides on the original leader. So most leaders, like quite a few Z leaders, when they flip over to becoming a Z lead, they lose their draw power and just have like stronger skills but lose the draw power, but gain some benefits in other ways. This leader doesn't, gets 20k base, and it also keeps the draw as well. Then it's got to activate main once per turn by paying 3 blue, place 3 other non-blue non-leader cards from under this card in its drop areas, and you get to play up to 1 Krillin or Android 17 Z battle card, both blue, from under this card, and then this card gives double strike for the turn. So It's quite nice, just playing free blue energy, placing 3 other cards that aren't your leader cards from under the lead to the drop. You get to play out one of these 2 from underneath the lead, and you get to get the lead double strike. And it's pretty good. That it's even better than it looks. Like, it's not really a free costing 3, because we'll see what these cards do in a sec. But it is a very powerful move. And then we'll start off with the Krillin, the options you bring out. So Krillin is a 5 cost, 25k Z lead or Z battle card. You're not going to bring out, like, there's no Z battle card you're going to bring out for these stats. 5 cost for 3 Z energy when you've got the Vegito that's the same requirements and has a lot more benefit of hard casting, where these cards will be cheated out, so you may be cheating out these cards from under the lead. And it has Deflect, Dual Attack, and Blocker, so it can be quite offensive with a Dual Attack in 25k, and also nice defensively as well. Then it has 2 autos. First one being Limit 1. If your leader is a blue Android 17 card, when this card is played, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards, place it at the bottom of his owner's deck, switch it to one of your leaders to active mode, switch it to one of your mono blue energy to active mode, and this card gains barrier until the end of your opponent's turn. So, to make that in the easier terms, when it's played, bottom deck one of your opponent's battle cards, you don't ignore barrier, but it's fine. Then you untap your leader, untap an energy, and give this card barrier until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you can have it as a barrier dual attacker and a barrier blocker. And then the other autos at the end of your turn, place it to one blue Android 18 card from your drop under your leader. So we'll see that there's quite a few, there's a fair few Android 18 cards in the deck, little battle cards, and you just place, because you're going to make sure that one of the cards you take out from under your leader to play this out from under your lead is going to be an Android 18 card, so in turn shove it back in. So essentially you're playing this up for a pseudo 2-2 and resetting your lead as well, so you can swing again. And that's one nice little thing about this, is that you can swing with the unawakened leader, or the awakened side of the lead. And then with that you can then also, as well as that, go ahead and Z-Awaken, and then you've drawn on the so basically you swing with the awakened side leader, get the draw, Z-Awaken to this, and then push through a 20k base with any other combo power you put on. Then you use the activate main, untap 3 to play out the Krillin, untap the lead, untap an energy, and you've got double strike on the lead now, and as the leaders restand, so you can swing again, get a draw, and have a double strike swing. So you can get quite a few swings out of these, which is quite nice. Then we have the Android 17 Axel Dance, which is Deflect, Critical, and Double Strike as his skills, which is quite cool. And he's also got 2 autos. Second auto is the exact same as Krillin, so ignore that one. But the first auto is Limit 1 if your leader is a blue Android 18 card. When this card is played, switch it to one of your mono blue energy active mode, switch it to one of your leaders active mode, and it gets 10k power for the turn. So bring this out, same thing as Krillin, untap lead, untap an energy, and you give your leader a 10k boost for the turn. So making your leader a 30k double striker. That's pretty good on a leader. It's like most leaders have to pay an energy and do Tramper. You can run out as Android 18, Android 17, which has double strike crit as well on a 25k base. Is quite strong. Because if they're not dealt with, then they're going to be still there to do harm. And even if they're gone, that's okay. You brought it out, you put some pressure, pressure on that turn, and you've had fun with that. So it's pretty strong Z lead. It's looking at to be a nice deck. I'm looking forward to playing this when it comes out. And so far, nothing too costly in terms of like rarities, most of these being uncommons. And now we have this next lot. We've got here the cantrips. Well, the thing most decks get being at least 1 cantrip and 1 searcher, and a little bit of additional support from Bulma as well. So we got Krillin gearing up for battle, Android 18 gearing up for battle, and then we've got Bulma Helpful Cheer. So Krillin, Android 18. These are the cantrips and the searchers. So Krillin is the cantrip. When this card's played, draw a card. And Android 18 is the searcher, where when it's played, you get a look at top 5 cards from the top of the deck. And you add up to 1 Krillin or Android card. Both blue and energy cost of 5 or less from them. Add them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. And then you've also got, ways to basically put them under your lead, which is the activate main, both limit 1, burst 1. So you put cards in your drop, so hopefully you get a blue card and shove it under your lead. And all it is, if your leader is a blue Android 18 card, place this card on your leader. So you play them out, do your draw or search, then activate the effect, burst 1, shut on your lead so you can awaken as quick as possible on your awaken, like to have the benefit being on the awakened side. And we got Bulma. She also is a cantrip. When this card is played, draw 1 for the first auto, and the second auto is limit 1. If your leader is a blue Android 18 card, and you place one of your non-leader cards from under your lead in the owner's drop, when this card is used in the combo, choose up to one of your Krillin or Android 18 cards, and it gets 1k power for the battle. So, yeah, so if you use this when you use this card in combo, give any of your Krillin or Android 18 cards 1k, and this could be quite nice for a lead with 15 to 15k. Just use it. Well, if you need to combat super combo, this becomes basically a pseudo 6k because it's combo with a 5k, and you're giving a 1k power to your lead to help hopefully combo out of a card that's gone 5k over your lead. So nice little benefit there. Nice little cards, and those are like the little searches and cantrips that most decks get. Moving on to the Krillin cards, we've got Krillin Powers Expanded, Krillin Defensive Battler, and Krillin Absolute Guard. So the last one, Krillin Absolute Guard, is the blue super combo, and it's just being a standard one, not like the ones we saw in the last set, just a standard one that we've already got. Where when you're left at blue, if your leader is blue and you're left with 4 or less, when you're using the combo, draw 1 card. Simple as every card has got them, and this is the blue one. And then we've got the other two. We've got Krillin Powers Expanded, and they're both 3 drops as well, and Krillin Defensive Battler. So the first one, well, they both got the similar kind of permanence where while you have a blue Android 18 card with an energy cost of 5 or more in play, this card gains a certain skill. So for the Powers Expanded, it gains dual attack, and for Defensive Battler, it gains 5k and blocker, as long as you have a 5-cost Android 18 card in play. And then with the Powers Expanded, it's got an auto. When this card is played, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards when it costs 4 or less, and place it at the bottom of his owner's deck. And it's cheated out by his activate main, limit 1 for 1 blue. If your leader is blue and you have 3 or more energy, play it from your hand. So, like a lot of things do, like a certain amount of energy, like trying to make it more later in the game, where 3 or more energy to play it out for 1. And you get a 15k dual attack at bottom deck's opponent's battle card that's cost 4 or less. Kind of got the same thing for generically any blue deck, being the Goku Black, but this one is when it gains dual attack, it's a double strike, which is quite nice. And you can also have to engage in the battle to drop it. And in Krillin Defensive Fighter, his also is when at the end of your turn, switch the card to active mode, and the exact same activate main as the other one, just paying for 1 when you have 3 more energy, and it's limit 1 as well for 1 blue. Simple enough. Krillin cards, quite good ones as well. Then we've got 2 of the SRs for the Android 18 deck. So we've got Android 18 Krillin, Future Spun by Battle, and Android 18 Energy Wave. So the first one is a 4-drop 15k with Deflect and Dual Attack. It's got a nice little auto where if you don't have a unison in play, when this card is played, play up to one of the unison we saw, Android 18, Krillin and Murren, Family United from your deck, go to marker on it in rest mode and shuffle your deck. So this is a nice way to cheat out the unison without having to pay an energy cost, because you can be paying the energy cost for this using the activate main, which is in 1. For 2 blue, if your leader is a blue Android card and there are 2 or more cards under it, play this card from your hand. So there's no energy restriction you need to have. You just need to pay 2 blue, have your leader as being an Android 18 card and have 2 or more cards underneath it, and you play this card from your hand. So easy, you're playing that by turn 2. Because turn 1 you normally go play one of those little 1-drops you saw that places itself on the lead. Then you go swing with your lead, putting a card underneath it and drawing a card, and then you have the amount required to play this, and also get a unison out, which then also is a +2 marker skill to give it 3 markers, and this nice dual attacker as well. So quite good plays. And then we got Android 18 Energy Wave, the 5-drop we kind of need for the other 2 to get their additional skills. So it's got double strike. Permanent, when this card would be removed from your battle card area, removed from the game instead. So if it's gone from removed from battle area, it's gone. Auto limit 1 for 1 blue. If your leader is blue and you have 3 or more energy, when you use a blue Krillin card from your hand or battle area in a combo, play this card from under your lead or from your hand. So this is a nice one that actually gets benefits from being under your lead by being able to play out from under your lead, so it's safe there, which is quite cool. So if you burst it, if you mill it, or lose it in any way from your hand instead of drop, chuck into your lead, then it can be played out again. And all you need to do that is combo with a blue Krillin card, or have one in your battle area. Oh yeah, use one from your hand or battle area in a combo, which is quite easy to do. And then you got the other auto, which is 1 blue. When this card is played, play up to 1 mono blue Krillin with an energy cost of 3 from your Z energy, combo area or drop. So you can combo with a Krillin, that's 3 or less. And energy cost of 3 from your hand or battle area. and then play this out for 1, and then pay another blue energy when you play this to play that credit from your combo area, or from your Z energy, or if you got one of your Z energy stuff like that. That's quite cool, or even from the drop, which is quite cool. So a nice little benefit now, and also remember those free drop credits we saw get a benefit off this of having this guy, this Android 18 play, because the 5 cost it more. And being a pace 20k double strike is pretty decent. Then we have some of the other cards that we got for Android 18. So we got 2 Android 17s helping support as well. So we got Android 17 Emergency Defense and Android 17 Supporting Sister. Now the Emergency Defense is quite a nice one because it's a counter attack. Limit 1 if your leader is a blue Android 18 card. Negate the attack and play this card. Free cost 15k, not too bad, but it's also got a permanent where you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost by placing 2 blue non-leader cards from under your lead in their endless drops. So that's another reason why you will put cards in your lead, because then you can use this as a free count, free negate, and have a body on board, which is quite cool. Then you got Android 17, supporting his sister. This one has an auto when this card is played. Choose up to one of your opponents. Choose up to one of your mono blue Android 18 cards with energy cost of 5 or less, switch to active mode, so you can restand the 5 drop we saw. And you've got an activate battle, limit 1 for 1 blue if your leader is an Android 18 card and an Android 18 card is in your combo area. Play this card from under your lead, so never would play under your lead, never card that benefits from that. And at the end of your turn, if this card is in play, place it at the bottom of his owner's deck. So you can play this card out from under your lead, and and if it stays there, it's there by the end of the turn. You bottom deck it from the board, or you can just combo off to avoid that as well. And you can have that nice little benefit when you do play it, restand the Android 18 and combo off, so it doesn't get bottom decked. And then we got an extra card for this, for the Android 18 stuff, being Krillin, helping his family. 1 drop extra card, activate main, limit 1. If your leader is a blue Android 18 card, you draw 1 card, then look at the 7 cards from the top of your deck. Place up to 1 Krillin or Android 18 card, both blue, among them in your drop. Shuffle your deck, and if you place a Krillin or Android 18 card in your drop, switch up to one of your mono blue energy active mode. So it's basically just a filter. You just you draw cards, replace it in your hand, and then you put an Android 18 or Krillin in your drop, so your leader can then swing and put it underneath itself. And then if you do that, you get untapped energy, so it's quite decent. Not sure if it's going to be played in there, it could be useful, but it is an option there for you to use. Then we go on to the Android 21. So the other side of blue is Android 21, exactly the same as we got in set 8. Both Android 18 and Android 21 is both sides blue in that set, and the same as for this one. So it's almost like a second reboot of that set, and it's got some interesting skills on the Android 21. So with the front side of Android 21, it's got permanent where you can activate extra cards, and during your turn you can't use skills to play battle cards. So you're prevented from using skills to play cards out, so cheating cards out for cheaper by using the skills, and you can't use any extra cards on the front while the front side is about. But you also have an auto when if you have an Android 21 Z battle card in play, at the end of your turn you switch to one of your blue energy to active mode. So if you've got Android 21 Z battle card in play, you get a restand, which is quite nice, and there are some nice good ones for this as well. And then you've got the activate main, which is how you gain advantage on this lead, which is once per turn, add 1 card from your life to your hand. Look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 blue Android card among them to your hand, shuffle your deck, and this card gains 5k power for the turn. And that is kind of relevant with the whole taking life as the cost, because the Awaken is just when your life is 4 or less, draw 1, untap 1, flip over. So you know alternative Awakening, you have to just be at 4, and then you flip over with the mid-range Awaken. Now, when you flip over your Android 21, the Nature of Evil, you now have 2 permanents. First one being during your turn, you can't use skills to play battle cards. It's similar to the first permanent, but now you can play extra cards. So you now can play extra cards, but you still can't play cards using skills during your turn. You can do it your opponent's turn, but you can't do it in your turn. And now you have a nice new permanent, which is quite cool, which has caught the eye of a lot of people, which is when paying energy costs for your Android 21 cards. You can use your Android 21 Z battle cards and your opponent's battle cards and unisons as energy. So that's pretty nice. You can use your own Android 21 Z battle cards for energy, and you also use your opponent's cards. And one card we saw in set 19 was that little 1-drop pan that most of the Crimson decks were using with Piccolo, which is basically a cantrip when it's played, draw 1 card, has barrier, and also has a nice little activate main, which allows you to give control of it, give it to your opponent, so give your opponent control of it. So you can have that in there, like nice little cantrip to play them out, draw cards, put on your board, and then give them to your opponent. So when your opponent goes to, then you can use them on your opponent's side as your energy to play your Android 21 cards. And you might be thinking, well, when it comes to their turn, they're just going to swing combo on off, but they can't really swing combo off when you've got counter attacks and counter plays that are Android 21s that you're going to be using when they swing or play something to tap them down before they can combo them off and play their cards on your turn. So bear that in mind, because that's something you're not going to want to. It's going to be difficult to pull off, and it seems quite cool as well, an interesting way to play. And also, the leader has an activate main, which once per turn, you draw one card and then choose up to 3 of your opponent's battle cards and/or unisons, ignoring barrier, and switch in active mode. So you're switching opponent's stuff to active mode, so you can use it to play more cards, which is quite cool. And you might be wondering, like, I've seen a lot of people put on about, like, what about specified costs? Like, nothing on this lead says about ignoring specified costs, so whatever you're tapping down, you need to make sure you still pay the specified costs for the cards, and that's where the blue little 1-drop hands come in quite handy. If you're playing against a deck that's not blue, you get to use those as the blue specified cost for paying your opponent's cards to play your cards. That's one little benefit of that. And we haven't got all the Android 21 stuff. We still have a little bit more to come in a few days, but we do have Android 21 Tilt Audacity, which is a really nice card. 20k 4 cost with deflect and double strike, and a nice little auto or limit one. When this card is played, draw 2 cards, so just straight up plussing you there, and at least +1 straight there. And then into your opponent's next turn, play 1 clone token with 1k power in your opponent's battle area. So that kind of goes in theme with the old leader requiring tokens for stuff to a little bit, and this is a really nice one. And also what you can pay is for cheaper because you use your opponent's stuff to it. So if your opponent's keeping good stuff up for rest, like your opponent playing blue, you've got blue units and other stuff, you can just tap those down, play stuff for cheaper, use your opponent's stuff. And Android 21 cards, and so we've only seen so far 2 Z battle cards for Android 21, and we got a 2 cost and a 4 cost, and we've also got this Caterpillar Android 21 as well, the 4 cost Wavering Will. And as we saw, when you've got a Android 21 Z battle card on the board at the end of your turn, I think it's just the Awaken side, where you can untap an energy, which is pretty decent, but you only get on the Unawaken side. So with the Z battle cards, we got the 2 cost Android 21 in the name of peace, and we got the 4 cost Android 21 in the name of hunger. Now I have no idea, I've not played properly in Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z with the campaign and stuff like that or anything like that, so I don't really know the background towards this character, because it's a character basically from Fighter Z. But the 2 costs requires 1 Z energy and 2 energy, at least 1 be blue. Not sure if these are the first Z battle cards we've had where we don't require the full Z cost being specified, which is quite interesting. But it's got unique and critical. It's got C-Stack 1 as well, involving blue battle cards. So it's just any blue battle card from your Z deck goes underneath it, and you can probably be putting the 4-drop underneath it. And the permanent is, while there are no cards under this card gets -5k power. So if there's nothing underneath it, it becomes a 5 cost, a 5k instead of a 10k. But it has 2 autos. The first one is when this card's played, you can add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, so you can help you awaken quicker as well, because remember with this lead, you want to go down to 4 life so you can awaken, because it's no alternative awaken condition. And the other auto is by paying 1 blue if your leader is a blue Android 21 card as a requirement, and a cost. At the start of your opponent's main phase, play up to 1 blue Android Z battle card with entry cost of 4 or less from this card, which would be the trigger, because remember, at the end of your turn on your leader's unawakened side, you get to untap an energy because if you've got an Android 21 Z battle card in play. So it's always set up for that. And then we got the 4-drop, which you can play from underneath it using the that. Also, the main targets I think at the moment we've got are Cell and these androids plus the Android. No, Android 17 won't work because it's a 5 cost. But yeah, it's got this and the Cell one as well. Imagine playing the Cell and start your opponent's main phase and going, scooping up all the cards. We've got this one which requires 2 Z energy and it's 20k and 4 cost, requires at least 2 blue. and it's got unique and blocker, and its Z stack is just two, just any two battle cards. They have to be blue, like the name in the name of peace, just any battle cards. And it's got a nice little permanent as well, where you may choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards when choosing cards for this card's Z stack conditions. So it means for the two you play underneath it, you can choose one from your Z deck and one from your opponent's board, which is pretty cool. You can't get through barrier, I don't think, because it just is. It's actually on effect that says choose. So you won't be able to get things on your opponent's board that have barrier, but you can say if the opponent's got something that's doesn't have barrier, take it, and there's a benefit to what you put underneath with the activate main. But first we go for the auto, which is when this card is played, you may place the top card of your deck in your energy in rest mode, and choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and place it at the bottom of his deck. So you got ramp there by playing this just out from the. So you play it for two, play this out, and then you ramp top card of your deck to your energy in rest mode. And then bottom deck saying that's pretty decent. That is pretty good. Doesn't give you any restrictions on what you can play and do anything like that, like some of the rep cards we've got, but that's quite cool. Then you got the activate main once per turn. Choose up to one keyword skill on a card underneath this card, and this card gains that skill to the end of your opponent's next turn. So that's good. One good thing about this is you can put something underneath it with barrier for your Z stack, and then this card can have barrier to the end of your opponent's next turn, making it a barrier blocker, having a nice little bit of defense if need be. Or if you want to put something else as crit or triple strike or something like that, put underneath it, which is quite cool. So like when you play it out, if you just play this out for 4 energy, you can then choose to put underneath it like the Beerus Sea Battle card and the Vegito. Then you got a choice between triple strike or barrier underneath it, which is quite cool. It's a pretty nice little thing there. And or just the what's it called? Or if you're taking one from your opponent's battle cards, put the Vegito underneath it, and you've got the option between barrier or triple strike from that card. Because you just choose one keyword skill, not one card. Then we got Android 21 Wavering Will. It is a 20k 4 cost that requires 3 specific blue. Critical blocker with a counterplay, just play this card. So requires 4 to play it. Remember, you can use cards on your opponent's board to use this for the energy cost. Remember, because the leader. So you can, as long as they got some blue cards, you can use them. This is why the benefit of giving your opponent pan. You can then just go, okay, play something, tap the pans to play out this, which is quite cool. And its auto is when this card is played, you choose one card, one of these two options, and it depends on the turn. So if it's your turn, you get to choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, place it at the bottom of his deck, and then the turn switch this card to active mode. Or if it's your opponent's turn, you get to draw one card. Pretty basic, but pretty decent. Then we have our first look at some multicolors for the set, and the first 3 being some blue-green ones for the Android 21 deck. Because if you remember back when we had in set 8, it was all about the that was when we had the multicolor little block, and that's when she debuted, and she was blue lead with the blue-green, blue-green. And we get 3 more cards for it. So the cards previously we had, apart from the banned one, that was so good it got banned, are able to be played in here, and also these ones as well. So we've got Android 21 Full Power Encounter, being a 4 cost counter attack one. Then we've got Android 21 Bewitching Batter, a 5 cost one with Revive. We haven't seen Revive in a good while, so we haven't seen many good, many of them with it for blue green. It's meant to be a rival stuff for the Android 16 deck and the Gamma stuff. Then we got Android 21 Ceaseless Despair, so it's an 8 cost 25k one. And they're all like every multicolor, they've all got energy exhaust and also a 1 cost 10k combo. Well, at least 1 cost in the combo. And so with the 4-drop, it's got a counter attack, which is play this card. It's also got double strike. It does also have a nice little permanent where if your leader is a blue Android card, negate this card's energy exhaust in warrior. So it gives Android 21 basically, I think not just androids, but not just 21, but all blue androids. 3 different. Well, no, at least Android 21, because I know Android 21 is a requirement on one of them. It gives Android 21 3 different types of checklands, being the Super 17 that came in the what's it called? The anniversary box. You got the Android 18 as well, and you also got this one as well. So Android 21 has 3 different checklands that can be played without energy exhaust triggering, which is quite cool. And this also has a nice little floodgate to go with its counter attack skill, because you play it, but then the floodgate is on the auto, like most of the floodgates, which is when this card is played, you get to choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, place it as owner's drop, and then your opponent can attack with non-leaders for the turn, unless they place 1 card each from their hand and Z energy into their owner's drops. So If you attack and negate this attack, you get to play this card out, get rid of something annoying bar, which is very good. And also, as well as that, make it so your opponent can't attack with anything that's not a leader unless they drop a card from their hand and the Z energy to drop each time, which is really good. Very nice one. And remember, just like I said, you can use things like play the pan cantrip, put them on your opponent's board, so when they attack with something, you can just negate, use those pans as part of the energy cost, play and everything they have, and pay your energy cost if they don't have a green saver chance. And then basically go, here's a floodgate, get rid of something on the board that's not something on the pans you've already used, and then just, yeah, oh, here's a floodgate. Really nice. And then we've got the End of 21 Butcher Battler. This one has unique, double strike, and blocker, as well as revive. If you don't remember what revive is, it means if this card is KO'd, you could, well, if this card is, KO'd, you can discard cards that are equal to either, you can either discard one blue and one green, or one card that's both blue and green, from your hand to the drop to play this card back out from the drop. I don't know if it's once a game, once a turn, or if it's just some happily but one. But that's what I remember. I can't remember exactly what revive, the requirements for revive, if it's just once a turn for that card, or you have to have a limit on or anything like that. But it basically just brings it back out if it's KO'd. But if you warp it or anything like that, it doesn't trigger it. And this card has a permanent where you can activate this card's revive skill from your drop without paying its skill cost by removing a clone token from your opponent's battle area from the game instead. So that means instead of discarding cards from your hand to pay for the revive cost, being blue and green, you can just pop one of your opponent's tokens, remove it from the game, to use the trigger the revive cost as well. That's pretty cool. And then you have the auto, at the end of your turn, switch the card to active mode and choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, place in the drop. So just placing, whenever one of those things which gets around things that trigger when they're KO'd, or like specific ways to get rid of them, by just saying place as well. And then we've got a really nice one in the big boss card, Never SR. So this deck's got a fair few SRs, and this one is Enter 21 Ceaseless as Bear. 25k, it's got Deflect, Double Strike and Dual Attack. It's going to be a big boss, it's 8 cost, remember. But also remember as well, you can use stuff on your opponent's board to pay for the cost of this when you play on your turn. So even though it's got like a 5 specified cost, if say your opponent's got 3 cards on board that you could tap for the energy cost, and you've got 3 pans and you send to the other side of the board, you can go tap those 3 pans, tap the other 3 cards they have, pay 2 of your green, and you've paid this for basically 2 energy from yours. And remember, if your opponent already does the smart thing and swings with their stuff to make sure it's in rest mode, you can just go, okay, restand these 3 things, tap them again with the pans to play them, and you pay this big boss out. That's quite good for cheap. And it's got a nice little permanent where, while your leader is a blue Android 21 card, reduce the combo cost of this card in your hand by 1. So similar to like blue Bojack, this deck gets 4 0 cost 10ks that they can use, being there 4 super combos and 4 of these, to basically just combat things easy, which is very good for a deck like this, which has multicolours that are going to be clogged in hand unless you got the energy, even though blue is quite good with energy resources. And it's also got a whopping 3 autos. First one is when this card is played, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, place them in the drop. So basically, you can clear your opponent's board, even ignoring barrier, which is amazing for a card. There's also an auto once per turn when your opponent activates a counter skill, so any counter skill, counter play, counter attack, counter, they discard 2 cards from hand. That's only once per turn though, the rest aren't. And then another auto which at the end of your turn, switch it to 5 of your energy's active mode. Now that's an auto which can be easily cancelled out by the culling cards, the ones that are normally side decked or mained ready for the Kaioken Goku secret rare. But that's only if this deck is really popular, but still, just having it in for a free 10k combo is fantastic. And you can use it for a game ender if you ever need be, but it's definitely going to be a 4 of, because the free 10k combo is very nice. And then we have the last card from the spoilers from the main set, being a skillless SS Vegeta. So now Vegeta gets a 30k free cost skillless card, which I think it didn't have. I can't remember if Goku had one as well, so this is something that's available. Nothing more to say about it, it's a skillless card. But we did, as I said, we did get some spoilers for what the world people going to the LCQ, the last chance to qualify for Worlds, and Worlds are going to be getting for participation and stuff like that. Starting off with some interesting, some promos. Now I've seen people get a bit like pissy about the fact that they're numbered promos because there are collectors in this game. Yeah, they collect all the cards, and these being numbered promos mean they're going to be things they want to add to their collection, being promos, and these are only going to be ones that are given to people that go to watch the battle hour and enter the battle hour as well. So I think there'd be around 2,000, so it'd be quite a bit of circulation, but then again, it's held in America, so other regions that aren't America might have a bit of trouble getting hold of them, or have to pay more fees in shipping to get them delivered. But they're all just covering the different games in there. So the Battle Hour, Dragon Ball Legends, Dragon Ball Fighters. It's interesting that Dragon Ball Super Card Game didn't get one, being it that it's just Dragon Ball Super Card Game cards. But it's got a little Dragon Ball card game, Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2023 tag on them, the little stamp, and they're all the same. They're 7-cost extra cards with the activate main. You and your opponent complement each other. Now I've seen a lot of discussion about what kind of compliments you can give, if you have to give a compliment and stuff like that. But still, these are just promos that won't really be used unless people want to use them for like fun, trolly, weird plays. Then we got some World's Participation promos, some other ones you're going to get when you enter these events, and that's some World Stamped cards. We get a first look as well. We get a spoiler of what the last leader, because we saw from on the TCG Plus app, Bandai finally put up like a little banner thing to show for the next set 20, Power Absorbed, and it showed off some colors and then the characters with them. So normally when they showed a character and a color next to them, the colors normally that's what they'll be in. And we had Super 17 for one of the greens. We had Red Analyzer and red, and then the proof how it's going on. We also had Boo in yellow and the Goku as well in yellow. So we kind of get off that's what it's going to be in. So we knew that Analyzer was going to be in red, but we didn't know what the red one was going to be red. And we saw Super 17 for green. We don't really know what the other green one's going to be, but can't remember if this set or the next set is going to have Super Rube. But I'm hoping Super Rube's in here, because I think it's in this one it was described as. But we're seeing that the last leader we didn't know was Warriors of Universe 7 Unite as one. So it's going to be Universe 7 getting a never red leader. And I think this is one that people just don't like. Universe 7 just is always like incredibly shocked when they come out in Universe 7. But also, that's the other side. So Universe 7 against Analyzer in the anime. And we also get a first look at one of the battle cards in the set, being Android 17 Impeccable Defense as well. And also as well, you get a World Stamp Dragon Ball card. So not the nicest art on the Dragon Ball, but still the original art, and you get with a World Stamp on it. And the World Stamps aren't always in the best position. Like on the Dragon Ball card, yes, I don't think they're in the best position, but still, it's World Stamp cards. They would be sought after for collectors, and people want like high rarity their cards, especially if there's secondary look to play them. And for this lead, we only see the front, the Awaken side. We don't see what the front side's like. So there's certain characters, all the same characters again. But it is Warriors of Universe 7 United as one. It's got the Warrior of Universe 7 tag, so meaning that any Universe 7 cards don't have a specified cost. And it's got two alters. First one is once per turn, when you play, attack with, or activate the blocker of a Universe 7 Z Battle card, you draw one card. So it's reliant on Z Battle cards, so it's probably going to be a load for this archetype in the in red. So that's how it gets draw power. And then the other alter is once per turn, discard one Deadly Clash from your hand. When you use a rival to play a red-blue multicolored battle card, choose up to one of your Universe 7 cards with a rival and it gains barrier for the turn. So it's interesting, and I think we've seen a little bit of hint somewhere around the interwebs that Deadly Clash is going to be a red-blue multicolored card. So that's quite cool. So I know there's hope for Invoker, even though Invoker is a really pretty skillless deck, and also yeah, not that great. It's not that good. No. But then we got Android 17 Impeccable Defense being a free cost 25k with free Z Energy Z Battle card with Barrier Blocker, and also when this card is played, you can't be KO'd in battle for the turn. And then it's got two activate skills. First one be activate main, limit 1 for 1 red and 1 of any other energy, so 2 energy, but at least 1 being red. If your leader is a red Warriors of Universe 7 card, and you switch this card to rest mode, so that can work with this, and I think the Gohan as well. I think there might be a Vegeta back from TOP. But you get to play up to 1 red Universe 7 card with energy cost of 3 or less from under this card, and at the end of your opponent's next turn, remove this card from the game. So it'd be interesting to see when we eventually get around to the red spoilers to see how this card gets at the end of it, because so far we haven't seen nothing on the card or the leader suggests there's a way to put cards under it. But then you got the activate battle, which is limit 1. If it's your opponent's turn, switch the card active mode, so it allows you to block and then restand it so you can block again after as well. Not too bad. quite interesting. And in Dragon Ball, we know what this does, is the draw card for the Wish decks. Then we have a look at the World's Participation Secret Rare as well. So the world people who qualify for Worlds can enter, just like they did last year when they got the Apex Stamped Secret Rare. This year they get another Stamped Secret Rare, and this time it's the Sun Gohan Beyond the Ultimate one. So the Gohan SH Secret Rare from set 19 they get with World stamped on. So that's pretty nice. I'm not sure it's going to be as valuable as Apex, because Apex was a valuable card, is like a pricey card, pricey secret rare even without the stamp, and with the stamp it's going to be a lot pricier. Like Invoker being one of the decks can be probably most expensive in the game at the moment. This is a really nice one just to have, just for entering. So if you win your nationals and get to go, you get a ton of stuff for winning. Plus you get this just for entering the worlds, even if you don't get that far. Because I believe with worlds this year, it's knockout straight from the back. So if you win the first game, you're out, and you got to win. Basically, it's just 3 games in a row to win, be one world champion, which is a little bit less interesting as it was last year, but at least this way it's in person. So that's the secret rare you get for participation, and also you get these. These are the 3 prize cards. So last year we had like not the Apex, it's the TOP Secret Rare Victory Strike Goku we had for the winner, and this year we get another one, but we get the Bardock, the Bardock Origin of Awakenings, Origin of the Legend Secret Rare from 18. These are the ones for third and second. So third gets a bronze one, second gets a silver one, and in first place gets a gold metal version of the Kaioken Son Goku United Divinity Secret Rare that was the secret rare made in set 18. As if there's a secret, like if they made a secret rare for set 1, this is what it'd be like as first place for Worlds. So from the first Worlds being a Victory Strike Secret Rare Gold, this year has a Kaioken Goku Secret Rare as well. So far two years in a row, Goku being the Secret Rare Gold card for World Champion. But still, these are going to be some pricey cards if you get hold of them, and yeah, they look quite nice. They'll probably look better in person than they do from these sample pictures they put up on their Facebook group. But still, these are quite good prices. And then the last thing we got is the world's top 4 playmat. So this is the playmat all the world's competitors get when they get into worlds, if they get top 4. So there's going to be 4 in the world for the top 4 of worlds. Very nice. It's not the best playmat, but it's still quite a nice one. Considering that there's only going to be 4 in the world, they're going to be quite decent. And that is it for this week. So that is all the news we've had this week regarding the from Dragon Ball Super card game. So once again, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll come back next week for more news with more spoilers stuff. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.